Hello, everyone. My name is Cyril Belikoff, and I lead the Azure and Industry Go-to-Market Global team at Microsoft. Today, I'm thrilled to talk to you about Azure Migrate and Modernize and Azure Innovate, our latest offerings that make your journey to the cloud easier. First, let's get grounded on the realities of the last several years. Things have changed at a rapid pace, and we continue to face complexities such as security threats, inflation, skill shortages, government regulations, and other global issues. This has meant that having a plan in place and building a secure, resilient environment is paramount. At the same time, tech innovation has soared. An overwhelming 75% of leaders are building all their new products and features in the cloud to stay ahead. And the biggest shift of all, AI, is now an integral force in our daily lives, revolutionizing industries and creating new opportunities. Now, more than ever, organizations are relying on technology for agility and innovation to stay ahead. In fact, a remarkable 91% of organizations have already made cloud an integral part of their strategic vision. The imminent shift towards a cloud-first approach marks a turning point in how organizations perceive technology adoption. Operating within the cloud, however, requires increased consideration for security. In fact, almost 80% of organizations list security as one of their top challenges. Finally, just under 90% of customers believe that AI holds the key to gaining a competitive edge, and they are right. By harnessing the power of AI, analytics, and intelligent automation, businesses can anticipate customer needs, personalize experiences, and make data-driven decisions that empower them to outperform their peers in a fiercely competitive landscape. We're seeing time and time again that the path to success lies in embracing cloud computing, harnessing the potential of AI, and wholeheartedly committing to digital transformation. At Microsoft, we are constantly striving to help organizations seize the opportunity to grow and pioneer innovation. The Microsoft Cloud encompasses products that span 6 critical areas for business success: security, infrastructure, digital and app innovation, data and AI, business applications, and modern work. Microsoft Azure lies at the foundation of the Microsoft Cloud and its capabilities, making it possible for organizations to securely embrace the latest technologies and leverage them to create new ones at a rapid pace. However, this session isn't about the details behind Microsoft Cloud or Microsoft Azure. It's more about how Microsoft can help you adopt or onboard into Azure. So, let's jump in. In July of this year, we announced an increased investment, scale, and availability of Azure Migrate and Modernize, and brought a new offering to market, Azure Innovate. Azure Migrate and Modernize helps you migrate and modernize your existing applications, data, and infrastructure to Azure, while Azure Innovate helps you with your advanced innovation needs, such as infusing AI into your applications and experiences, advanced analytics, and building custom cloud and native applications. Both offerings provide comprehensive resources for each stage of your journey, direct access to experts from Microsoft or specialized partners, with support with extensive scenarios from migration to advanced innovation with AI. We're going to dig into all of these benefits in this session. As you can see from this slide, in July, we announced the net new $100 million investment into Azure Innovate and tripling our investment into Azure Migrate and Modernize. In October, we expanded Azure Innovate coverage with support for accelerating developer productivity with GitHub Copilot, Visual Studio, Azure DevOps, as well as integration services like Azure Logic Apps and Azure API Management. Qualified ISVs now have a path to self-nominate for Azure Innovate, enabling them to build new or modernize existing solutions with AI with help and resources. Today, we launched a brand new resource kit on azure.com. This kit has curated step-by-step guidance for common migration, modernization, and innovation scenarios for each stage of your journey. Since launch, more than 5,500 customers have accessed Azure Migrate and Modernize, and Azure Innovate for various projects. We're seeing a tremendous momentum with AI. 21% of our new projects have an AI component in them, with over 1,000 projects in flight in the last 4 months. Now, let's take a look at some specifics on how these offerings can help you. Both Azure Migrate and Modernize and Azure Innovate offer comprehensive step-by-step resources in one place for each stage of your journey, from planning to actual deployment. Now, let's go into the details of comprehensive resources. We have experts to guide you and resources to help you through assessments, design a proof of concept or pilot, migrate a few workloads to Azure and test its capabilities, architecture reviews, deployment assessment, workshops, and free or low-cost skilling. That's a lot. And if you prefer to get started on your own, our flagship free tool, Azure Migrate, can help. Azure Migrate is our free first-party migration tool, and it allows you to quickly discover, assess, create a business case, migrate and modernize your on-premises, hybrid or multi-cloud environments in AWS or Google. Let's walk through some of its capabilities. Azure Migrate can be found on the Azure portal just by searching for it. Migrations start with discovering your IT real estate. In the discovery phase, Azure Migrate uses an agentless Azure Migrate appliance to identify and map your on-premises VMware VMs, Hyper-V VMs, other virtual servers, and physical servers. You can discover on-premises IT estate through this agentless appliance or by importing data through a CSV template. The recommended appliance method eliminates human error and captures configuration and resource utilization data to help with right-sizing in Azure. Data from the discovery phase also allows for identification and dependency mapping of your IT estate. However, we understand customers need to know cost and savings in Azure before they move. Within the TCO business case feature in Azure Migrate, you can easily generate a business case with the discovery data, or again, a manual CSV file. Start by selecting Build Business Case and provide a bare minimum of input. Once you click on Build Business Case, you'll see a comparison of current costs with Azure, TCO, ROI for savings. You can create what-if scenarios with custom data and assumptions and see what security costs and savings with Defender for Cloud. Lastly, you can export financial data to Excel for creating business case proposals, which you can then share with your stakeholders to get their buy-in. With Azure Migrate, you can perform assessments for several scenarios, such as determining whether VMs can move as is to Azure. In some cases, there may be some need to address gaps before moving. You can also receive recommendations for right-sizing your resources. Most customers provision more resources than required, so by analyzing utilization, Azure Migrate is able to determine required resources in Azure for optimized performance and cost. Finally, Azure Migrate can help with actual migrations. The appliance replicates IT resources to your Azure subscription, allowing you the option to validate migrations in a test environment and cut over to Azure with zero data loss and minimal downtime on your terms. You can migrate on-premise VMs and servers or VMs located in other private or public clouds with zero downtime. For moving databases, use the Azure Data Migration Service for a seamless and integrated migration experience with end-to-end tracking. So, we've seen how you can get started on your own with Azure Migrate. Now, let's talk a little bit about extensive coverage of these offerings. Both of these offerings provide you with step-by-step guidance at each stage of your journey. Experts help with pilots or proof of concepts. You can move a small portion of your workloads to test Azure capabilities before you plan your larger project. You also receive help with guided workshops, assessments, architecture reviews, access to technical frameworks, and actual deployment assistance, along with skilling options to ensure long-term success. So talking about skilling, let's get a little bit more detailed. We know your teams need to quickly access training on the latest and greatest technologies to deliver business impact. Our research last year also confirmed that over 50% of IT professionals feel more confident in their ability to do their job after taking technical training. We have several low-cost or free skilling options for you on topics ranging from basic migration to advanced workloads and the latest that's on everyone's radar, generative AI. With our learning paths, you can explore a topic in depth through guided experiences or learn how to accommodate a specific task through modules. Virtual training days are free 1 or 2 day training sessions designed to expand and accelerate your skills. And finally, Cloud Skills Challenge helps you to skill on your Microsoft Cloud technologies via a gamified experience utilizing Microsoft Learn content. You gain access to these Microsoft Learn paths, virtual training days, and a virtual leaderboard to compete with your peers in the industry. How fun! With skilling addressed, let's talk about the technical frameworks that form the underlying approach to our cloud adoption. Microsoft provides you with very detailed cloud adoption and specific workload architecture guidance, allowing you to learn from our experiences and those of other customers. The Cloud Adoption Framework for Azure provides tools and guidance for implementing not only cloud technologies, but also business, people, and process changes to ensure a successful adoption. The Cloud Adoption Framework is based on best practices and successful customer and partner experiences and is updated regularly. The Azure Well-Architected Framework is a set of guiding tenets that you can use to improve the quality of a workload. Specifics, workload by workload or product by product. Let's dive in a little bit on these. The Cloud Adoption Framework, or CAF, is the place to start for organizational level guidance. This framework incorporates the best financial management and cultural practices of the FinOps Foundation for optimizing your usage based on the variable cost model of the cloud. Within CAF, you will find detailed technical guidance to define and deploy an Azure landing zone for your cloud environment. Azure landing zones apply Azure policy consistently across all of your workloads within a multi-subscription reference architecture. Now, the Well-Architected Framework, or WAF, focuses on a specific workload and the various design choices necessary to ensure you've optimized the workload and its architecture. The framework is based on the experience of thousands of customer engagements that help to make intelligent trade-off decisions between the most relevant dimensions of running your workload, such as reliability and security, and their cost. Well-architected framework will also ensure that you're designing for optimization by suggesting the structure and policies of the cloud environment based on your particular workload. The Well-Architected Review is a self-guided assessment that delivers guidance and recommendations tailored to your workload's architecture. You can use this assessment for either architectural design sessions or periodic reviews of your existing workloads. Together, these frameworks represent an iterative and flexible life cycle, enabling opportunities for continuous improvement and optimization. So, we've covered a lot of ground under comprehensive resources on how to get started on your own with Azure Migrate and our technical frameworks as well as skilling. But we understand that cloud adoption is complex. So we have a vast network of experts to help side by side at each step. In July, we announced an investment in this partner ecosystem of $100 million in Azure Innovate and tripling our investment in Azure Migrate and Modernize. Along with unique cost-saving offers for each step of your project from assessment to deployment, we try to make your cloud journey as cost-optimized as possible. 2 expert delivery models exist. Experts from Microsoft to help with rapid rehost migrations at zero cost to you, or we have funding for specialized partners to help you with more complex projects. And finally, the offerings ensure end-to-end coverage of all common migration and innovation scenarios. If you look at this slide, Azure Migrate and Modernize can assist you with an exhaustive list of workloads for your move to Azure. So whether you're moving your first virtual machine, or migrating SAP, or Oracle databases, or mainframe migration, Azure Migrate and Modernize has you covered. On the other hand, Azure Innovate will support you with building your AI-infused applications, cloud-scaled analytics, using GitHub Copilot, modernizing your on-premise applications, and more. And finally, Azure Migrate and Modernize and Azure Innovate are built for all, no matter the size of the business or industry. So let's look at how a few customers have benefited from these offerings. Home Trust, a Canadian financial services institution, exited its cloud-hosted solution running VMware and is now 100% on Microsoft Azure. With support from Azure Migrate and Modernize, they were able to reduce their time to market and accelerate their expected return of their cloud adoption. In another instance, Total Mobile, a partner, implemented an analytics solution for their customer Every, a UK parcel delivery and courier service. Total Mobile received help from Azure Innovate with proof of concept projects and turned what could have been a complex and time-consuming process into a seamless and efficient journey. 𝗬𝗎𝗂 implemented a proof of concept that demonstrated the capabilities of Microsoft Azure Cognitive Search and large language modules. The solution aims to enable fitters to select relevant information quickly and purposefully during a work order. Azure Innovate helped them to successfully execute 4 analytics and AI projects on time within budget to deliver significant value to their business. We love seeing these stories of how customers are using Azure Migrate and Modernize and Azure Innovate to turn their vision into impact for their business. Okay, that was an overview of our offerings in a nutshell. I hope you found this information useful and know that whether you are migrating to gain efficiencies, creating an AI-ready data estate, or building your own AI-infused solution, you have the curated resources you need in one place with Azure Migrate and Modernize and Azure Innovate. Our new resource kit for these offerings is live on azure.com with curated guidance for each stage of your migration and innovation project. You can see the AKA link on the slide, which is a great summary of this entire discussion. Thanks for your time and enjoy the rest of Ignite.